Immigration authorities are looking to upgrade the country's passport system. They're exploring ways to make the passport more secure by using iris scans to identify travelers. It's currently calling for proposals from the industry to help design such a system. These may not be required when traveling in future. Experts say with more people taking to traveling faster and more secure clearance is needed. That's why some countries are exploring biometric data or unique data collected from the human body. This can include a person's fingerprints, voice, images of eyes and even veins.
It has your face, you know there's twins that are possible to have the same face. But for the vein structures, technically they are very different and the studies are still going on, and as far as we know they are as close as good as their kind of DNA.
But the more common biometric data is still fingerprints and images of the iris.
It's like building up a cake, you have to have multiple layers on it. If you have one layer of security and it is breached, your passport system will fail. But if you add on multiple layers, that's the only way to become secure.
Lawyers say it's a straightforward process if Singapore decides to include more biometric features to passports.
Government could easily just, the minister in fact, could easily just by way of a gazette notification include iris information, and then when you go and apply, you would have to provide your eyes for the iris scan to be done.
Experts say that a country can choose to add on as many security features as possible to its passports, but it's only meaningful if other countries have the systems and capabilities to read the information. Nevertheless, an enhanced passport has its place. It ensures that people who enter a country can only do so with an authentic passport. And the more security features you have on that passport, the harder it is to breach a country's borders. UNESCO has cited Vietnam as being home to many cultural heritages with considerable artistic as well as historic values. Nevertheless, the realities of past wars, weather conditions and time alone have damaged these prized national treasures. Local provinces are now increasingly seeking ways to boost preservation and restoration work, including working with international experts. A case in point now is Mai Son Sanctuary in Quang Nam Province. Mai Son Sanctuary in Di Zuyen district is a cluster of ruined Hindu temples built by the Champa kingdom between the 4th and 14th century AD. Recent years have seen a number of temples, particularly those in a section named A, experience signs of serious deterioration. Other ruins in section F are under the threat of collapsing. Nguyen Kong Kiet, Deputy Head, Mai Son Management Board of Relics and Tourism, Quang Nam Province, said many temples are now very worn down, namely those in sections K, A and H. Therefore, they hoped to be able to develop many more projects to boost the restoration work here. In early January, the Indian government announced a funding package of roughly $2.5 million for a project to restore Mai Son. As part of this project, archaeologists from the Archaeological Survey of India have visited the UNESCO-recognized site to assess and develop restoration work for temples in sections A to H as well as section K.
Restoration and preservation will be done according to the established norms of conservation and policy. Apart from that, first of all, we will study the whole temple structure, document that. We will study what material was used. Apparently, it is seen that apart from the bricks.
In the past, Quang Nam Province has collaborated with archaeological experts from Poland and Italy to commence restoration work on the ruins. While the need for immediate restoration has been held in priority, local authorities are also concerned about adequate research to ensure accuracy and respect to history. Ho Zuan Tin, Deputy Director, Department of Culture, Sports and Tourism, Quang Nam Province, said cooperating with the Indian archaeologists will be a great opportunity. The experts have had much experience and succeeded in restoring Hindu temples in their own country. Many of these temples have similar construction material to those of Mysore. According to experts, fully restoring all of the temples within the sanctuary will take several more decades. Research into the material making up the structure will also be vital to efficient restoration. The current project with the Archaeological Survey of India is expected to last into the next 5 years. Visually attractive and full of colors. These butterflies are just one of the many attractions in the Butterfly Eco Garden and Tribal Village in Puerto Princesa, Palawan.
It started as a hobby ng family. And then unti-unti namin inayos to accommodate yung mga tourists natin. So ito yung sagot namin sa panawagan ng ating LGU para sa tourism industry. Yung mga butterflies na yan, it came from our breeding. Meron tayong mga partners sa mga remote areas na nagbi-breed ng butterflies. So every day, merong old ones dying and newly emerged naman. So meron tayong daily supply ng mga chrysalis or pupa na binibili natin doon sa mga breeders. Meron din tayo dito na millipedes, like millipedes, because before it's called the butterfly garden, but now ginawa namin itong ecological garden. So, yung ecology around the butterflies. Yeah, so meron tayong mga scorpions, meron tayong mga stick insects, millipedes.
Palawan Butterfly Eco Garden and Tribal Village. It is one of the most popular and most frequented tourist destinations in the city. Formerly known as the Butterfly Garden, this one-of-a-kind attraction continuously draws more and more tourists to visit their place for an environmental and a cultural experience. With only 50 pesos, you can already have pleasure in seeing quite a few species of butterflies.
Sometimes we have only 5 species, sometimes we can reach mga 50 species. The best time to observe butterflies is during morning with sunlight. Yes, around 10 o'clock in the morning.
It is also the home to Palawan's rescued endemic animals such as bearcats and Palawan peacock. The tribal village aims to give the guests a cultural background of the indigenous people called Palawan. This tourist attraction, visited by local and international tourists, is proof of how we take good care of our native butterflies, which in turn help boost the tourism of the province. The welfare of children with special needs is always prioritized. Support and assistance to these children is not only awarded by the government but also by the private sector, which plays an important role in the plight of these children. 25 students from the Pusat Ihsan Al-Amira Al-Hajjah Mariam were treated to a snow play trip at Times Square shopping complex in Barakas, Brunei. The trip was part of the activities to engage the students in various activities to enable them to integrate into different places in the community as they acquire new experiences, and that can enhance their learning and development. They were seen having fun and savoring the time spent building icy sculptures in the cold environs. Mascots consisting of cartoon characters made a surprise appearance, much to the happiness of the students. The snow play trip was sponsored by Hamberley Hills Time Zone Edutainment. The students also received goodie bags from Fresco Supermarket. There are various types of honey. In Brunei, there's one called mangaris. For a local entrepreneur who has been involved in the industry, the Mangaris honey was previously sold only among family members and friends. Now the product has started to receive encouraging response from the community, inspiring the producer to further expand the market for his locally produced honey to other countries in the future. The honey entrepreneur Awang Firdaus bin Haji Sabli also spoke of the overwhelming response he has been receiving since he started the business he learnt from a friend who had been running the industry for more than 5 years. Awang Firdaus said that public demand for the honey had been overwhelming and they are trying to make it as affordable as possible. Three school libraries were opened recently as a joint effort of Myanmar Library, MLA, and the Asia Foundation, aiming to re-energize the school libraries. The Secretary of Myanmar Library Association, Myat Sain Yen, said most of the school libraries are existing. They have a building, they have the books, but most of them are old. They provide many new books such as reference books, dictionaries, and others. These books are very relevant for the high school, secondary school and middle school students. As a pilot project, the organization chose 2 schools in Yangon and 1 in Mandalay. They chose carefully the schools based on the school's library conditions, teachers and parents' participation, and the students' involvement. The students may get a chance to do research on their subjects in the library. One of the problems is their time limitation in their schedules. Country representative of the Asia Foundation, Kim N.B. Ne, said the project is actually very simple.
Our interest is how do we leverage the commitment and the resources that already exist here in Myanmar to help rebuild the libraries in Myanmar schools as a place for the student to access more books, a place where they can come and do their homework, a place where the teachers can also engage with the students more.
The organizations hope that the school's library will be utilized by the community in order to support the schools in the country.